I first period was a little bit like the Edmonton game for me, but I really liked our second and third and the way it wasn't just the young guys skating away from pucks. It was a lot of our older players too. So that was really nice to see for us. Yeah.
What can you say about Coronado and what he's done, not just today, but over the past few days?
He wants to make a team, right? Like, I mean, we talked about, I think it was this morning, if I'm not mistaken, about if you watch him away from pucks when he doesn't have it, how hard he works to try to get it back. That's why he's had success. So he's been like a dog on a bone, and he is hunting things hard. And, we've talked about his shot before too. He gets it away quickly, and it's hard. I think I'm assuming that goaltenders probably don't know he can shoot like he can yet. That'll change here shortly, but he's done a really good job for himself.
A big guy. So what makes him so effective at hunting those pucks?
I think it's just probably a mentality, I would guess. He's tenacious. And the one thing that I would say about him, too, is he's very coachable. So if you go to him with something, he'll be like, okay, I'm going to do it. If you want me to do that, I'll do that. So he's put himself in a good position for sure. And we talked this morning about playing with Michael Backlund. I think, that probably helps a young guy as well in certain situations, maybe when you start getting a little bit running around, or maybe the game starts to get away from you. Having a guy like Michael there helps.
What do you think of your special teams units tonight?
Penalty kill was the best night we've had, for sure, and the power play scored us the big goal that we needed, so they did a good job tonight.
Dylan was saying that, Matthew's shot is NHL worthy. I wonder, not comparably, but does he remind you, Matthew, of anybody in this game that you see some similarities?
Ooh, boy.
I know it's early, and I'm not even talking about the pressure side,
Yeah.
but I just wonder if he shows you little glimpses of somebody that just reminds you of a player.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, there's going to be guys for sure, but right now, it's not coming to me. I mean, it's when you look at the release, that's what I think makes it a good shot. And I feel like the more experience that he gets, he's going to learn how to be even a little bit quicker with it, because there have been some times in these games where he's maybe handled a touch too long and he doesn't get the shot away. So I think that's part of maturing and growing up and understanding I have to do it 1 second quicker in order to make sure I get my shots away.
Mistakes are going to happen at this time of the year. There's still lots of time to fix things, but were you at all concerned with sort of the turnovers in your own end?
In the first period, yes. So short answer to that one. That's got to be a focal point for us, because you see how games change. Winnipeg's defense is really good in regards to getting involved in the rush. And if you give them chances or give them the puck or opportunities to get involved, then shame on you type thing. So it's something that we have to work on. It's been one of the bigger weaknesses we've had in the exhibition games.
Not unusual to still have to work on it, though.
Oh, I think it's a year-long thing. Usually when you don't win games, there's typically turnovers at one of the blue lines. So you feed transition games, and it's not a recipe for success, for sure.
Was Zichka's goal symbolic of what you want to see from him? He had a defender draped on him. Still managed to make that play in a gritty area.
Yep, absolutely, Eric. That's and he played with pace tonight too. When you watched him skate around out there, he's a big man, but he can get to places quickly when he's working, and that's what we need to see out of him. You go to the net hard like that, he's a hard guy to contain.
What'd you see out of Hunt and Schwinn tonight?
They didn't get a ton of ice time, I guess I would say. They were on the ice for a couple goals against. I thought Schwint actually did a pretty good job on a lot of faceoffs that he ended up taking for us. There's a few key draws that I thought he won that we needed him to. There were shifts in the second period where I thought that line was very good. They created some energy in the offensive zone and allowed the lines that were coming out next to kind of pick up off that momentum.
Jaeger sharing Govich on a different line. I know you started him at training camp on a different line, but what have been your impressions of him with Coronado, but also in the bumper spot on the power play?
I think he's a really good hockey player. He's got a good skill set with him. He understands the defensive side of the game as well. I think our challenge with him is going to be a little bit to get him to be a little bit firmer on the puck and around the puck in certain areas. So, we flipped him around a little bit tonight, but that's going to be one of our focal points for him moving forward for sure.
Just going back to Eric's question about Adam, you've talked a lot about consistency for him and some of the young guys. Have you seen that consistency from Adam in training camp? Do you need to see more of it as it goes on?
For sure, more of it, but we have seen more. So he's done a lot of the things that we've asked him to do. So that's something that makes us happy, and I hope it makes him proud of his effort as well. So we keep saying it, the challenge for him now is not what he did today, it's going to be what he's going to do in Edmonton.
Not to dial back on Coronado, but did it feel like tonight he was a little bit more tenacious than what we've seen earlier in training camp? I think some of us had that observation, but I'm curious from you.
This was a really good game for him, for sure. Like, he was a guy that was creating a lot of turnovers on their side by how he was working. Sometimes, he played all 3 games in Penticton. He's played every exhibition game so far. So you're not going to be at your best every time. It's just getting him to understand that there's certain ways he's got to play all the time. And you'll have nights like this, and you'll also have some nights when you're quiet as well.